The silent ancient palace was very spacious, only the stone board in the center could be seen. One only had to place the item on the board and the virtual universe system would be able to inspect it. This was also the easiest place Luo Feng could think of to identify the treasure. Through the virtual universe network before, according to my authority, I've compared the metals I couldn't identify before. Even though they are rare, they wouldn't make that fan Nua Castle Leader rack his brains for them. Then there's only the last 3 left. Luo Feng thought. Just through the network there were still 3 that he couldn't identify. According to Luo Feng's guess, the treasure should be within. Luo Feng flipped his hand and a green crystal the size of a sesame seed appeared in his palm. He gently placed it on the stone plate. Green threads rose up from the stone board, enveloping the green crystal and starting to carefully analyze it. After a while, a voice resounded, "1 piece of metal, wood crystal, offering it to the clan will give you 18 treasure points. Luo Feng, are you willing to offer this treasure to the clan?" "Ah, it's indeed a treasure." Luo Feng revealed a look of shock when he heard it. No wonder even with my authority I couldn't find any information on this metal. Just a sesame seed-sized piece is worth 18 treasure points. Looks like the treasures of the universe lords and knights I've killed are indeed not few. However, just 18 treasure points isn't enough for Fan Nua Castle Leader to make a move. Luo Feng shook his head. It wasn't this. He waved his hand and the sesame seed-sized crystal floated back into his palm, immediately keeping it in his world ring. With a flip of his hand, another piece of metal appeared in his palm. This was a black metal about the size of a head. Its surface had a total of 360 facets. Every facet was incredibly smooth, almost like a mirror. This was also one of the 3 metals Luo Feng couldn't identify. Go. The black metal immediately floated and landed on the board. Countless green threads soared up and enveloped the black metal stone. Luo Feng frowned. That long? Even inspecting treasures back then didn't take this long. After a while, the gentle voice resounded again, resounding throughout the entire palace. 1 Divergent Mirror Stone, one of the tokens of the Divergent God Palace. Offering it to the clan for 20 treasure points. Luo Feng, are you willing to offer it to the clan? Luo Feng's eyes gleamed. 20 treasure points? It was even more expensive than the Jiuming River. That's it. Luo Feng looked at the Qi Mirror Stone in shock. At the same time he quickly extended his hand and recalled the Qi Mirror Stone back into his hand. His eyes lit up as he stared at the Qi Mirror Stone. No wonder Fan Nua Castle Master used so much effort to purposely trade metals with me. He bullied me because I couldn't see through the secrets of this Qi Mirror Stone. So, this is the Divergent Mirror Stone. Luo Feng felt his blood boil. Even though Luo Feng hadn't been in the Primal Star for close to 20,000 years, during that period of time, his consciousness would occasionally enter the virtual universe. Hence, he naturally knew about the major events that happened in the Primal Star. In the past 20,000 years on the 10081 primordial stars, the most soul-stirring event was the Divergent God Temple storm. Qishan Temple. It caused the various races of the universe to go crazy. On the 600th year of the Primal Star pathway's opening, the universe origin laws suddenly descended on the Primal Star 02892. Gold, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, thunder, light, time, space, all the great origin laws simultaneously descended on this Primal Star. The pressure was overwhelming. In an instant the entire planet seemed to be locked down. Any knight or even an overlord found it hard to move. Simultaneously, a shrine slowly broke out of the ground. The process of breaking out of the ground lasted close to 100 years. And in this period of time, the various powers of the universe all sent their absolute beings over. In an instant, the ones surrounding the shrine were all universe lords. Those that dared to get close were all at least at the pinnacle of the universe. After 100 years, the Divergent God Temple had completely emerged. There was a black stone tablet erected before the shrine. On it were ancient engravings. Any warrior that saw it would know the message. The message was very simple. When the Divergent God Temple emerges, the stone tablet will appear. Once the stone tablet is destroyed, on the 10081 primal stars, at a certain time at a certain location, 1 or more Qi Mirror Stones will randomly appear. There will be a total of 36 Qi Mirror Stones. They are like normal stones. When they appear, the commotion will be comparable to high-level treasures. When all 36 Qi Mirror Stones appear, the Divergent God Temple will open. Only those with them can enter. If any other warrior barges in, they will be destroyed. 1 year later, the stone tablet was destroyed. Following which, there were many rumors saying that the Qi Mirror Stone had appeared on a certain primal star, causing many disputes. However, no one knew the exact time or location. Hence it depended on luck. Even the strong would find it hard to obtain it. The news of the stone tablet had long spread. Luo Feng naturally knew about it too. So it's a Qi Mirror Stone. I really don't recognize it even with a treasure in my hands. Luo Feng looked at the black crystal. When the Qi Mirror Stone appears, its pressure is similar to that of a high-level treasure. Hence, one can only discover it when it appears. Only then will one know how special it is. A stone appearing, yet its pressure was comparable to that of a high-level treasure. Any warrior would be able to guess that it wasn't normal. However, someone like Luo Feng who had killed other warriors and taken their treasures. Even with this Qi Mirror Stone he wouldn't be able to recognize it. The origin laws of the universe have descended. The Divergent God Temple seems to be the biggest treasure of this primal star. Luo Feng thought. The Primal Star normally only opens once after countless years, and every time it opens, it only lasts for 1,000 eras. Within these 1,000 eras, like the top-level domain treasures, top-level soul treasures, top-level flying palace treasures, top-level weapon treasures, these treasures of the same level would appear many times. However, they would all be incomplete and would appear separately. And within the entire 1,000 eras of the Primal Star's opening, there would always be one terrifying treasure that would stand above the others. Usually, it would be a peak-level domain-type treasure, peak-level flying palace-type treasure, or peak-level soul-type treasure. Of course, they would usually have other uses. For example, the Calamity Armor had some soul defense. The Beast God Armor had both offensive and defensive abilities. The Star Pagoda had soul defense, flying palace, suppressive, offensive abilities and many other abilities. And every time the Primal Star opens, the strongest treasures that appear would usually have many different uses. Like the top-level soul treasures, they would usually focus on soul defense or even have a portion of body defense or even hypnosis abilities, etc. Anyway, the top-level soul treasures were second only to the absolute treasures. And the absolute treasures were things that could only be found and not sought. Even the 9 great powers of the universe didn't have any absolute treasures to guard them. Hence, the top-level domain treasures, soul-type, flying palace-type treasures, were enough to make the universe races go crazy. The Primal Star only opens once after an incomparably long period of time. Luo Feng thought, every top-level soul treasure, or treasure of the same level, can be called the ultimate treasure of their race. The moment a powerful universe lord obtains it, along with other treasures, it's almost impossible for him to die. Even if he meets an absolute treasure, even if he can't beat it, he'll still be able to escape. No wonder. No wonder Tian Tao has always been hiding it, not daring to reveal it. After all, the moment it is revealed, the automaton universe lords will naturally use it. It's already not bad for him to obtain such a high-level treasure. However, if he were to go in himself, one has to know that only 36 people from the entire universe can enter, and they'll enter from different doors within the palace. There's a chance of survival. The moment he comes out, his rewards will be huge. Even if he fails, he'll just revive again. However, the moment he succeeds. Luo Feng understood Tian Tao and Fan Nua Castle Leader's thoughts. Tian Tao was hiding his information. Fan Nua Castle Leader wasn't willing to reveal the fact that Tian Tao had the stone. The moment it was revealed, Tian Tao would probably obediently give it to his race. Tian Tao wouldn't reveal Fan Nua Castle Leader's secret either. The moment it was revealed, Fan Nua Castle Leader's position would be extremely high, with 3 bodies, each comparable to an elite universe lord. His position was already close to that of a universe lord. Even if the Thorny Ring Alliance knew he had the stone, they wouldn't forcefully demand it. If they were forced, the special life form Fan Nua Castle Leader could totally leave the Thorny Ring Alliance and join another power. Both had their own thoughts. Tian Tao wasn't afraid of Fan Nua Castle Leader chasing him, he had the confidence to survive. Fan Nua Castle Leader too had the thought of getting it himself, hence he dragged it out. Who would have thought that Luo Feng would interfere? Tian Tao was indeed good at escaping. With a domain treasure paired with a high-level armor and flowing light wings, even Luo Feng couldn't catch up. Eventually he had to rely on I Am the Universe to kill him. Hence, the stone landed in Luo Feng's hands. With the stone in my hands, I too have the right to enter the shrine. Luo Feng was extremely excited. This chance, I'm afraid it'll only come once in countless eras. And within 1,000 years, I'll definitely be able to step into the universe night level. The moment I do, my body will grow even stronger. My power will be even stronger, and I'll have the qualifications to compete for treasures. Luo Feng nodded within. Simultaneously he tested the third piece of metal. It was worth 31 treasure points. Even though Luo Feng was shocked, he only smiled. Following which Luo Feng left Primal Chaos City, leaving the Primal Universe, returning to the actual universe. Fan Nua Castle Master sat in the skyscraper's top floor hall. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Enter. Fan Nua Castle Master said. Hua, the door automatically opened to the 2 sides and a 2-handed foreign race man with many feelers on his face walked in. Boss, this is this year's detailed financial report. The foreign race man respectfully handed over a document. On it was filled with many different race words. Fan Nua Castle Master picked it up and flipped through it. This was a company he had created while pretending to be a normal being on this planet. Even though it was laughable for a great pinnacle overlord to do such a thing, Fan Nua liked the feeling of being close to the most normal people in the universe. Feeling the competition between the normal people, Fan Nua Castle Master would occasionally get emotional, even the origin laws would occasionally be triggered. You can leave first, I'll hold a meeting later. Fan Nua ordered. Yes. The normal beings working in this company probably couldn't even imagine how terrifying their boss was. Even though he was the strongest on this planet, a universe-level warrior. In Fan Nua Castle Master's eyes, he was nothing but a joke. He lived on this planet and had already secretly controlled many changes in the planet's powers. To him it was just a thought. If he wanted to. One thought and he could destroy the twin stars in the sky. Luo Feng was actually taken over by the Golden Horned Beast. Undyings can't be taken over, that means he was taken over when he was a sector lord? Back then when he made such a name for himself in Purple Thorn Island, he was secretly taken over? No wonder he died and revived back then, so he was just a new body taken over by the Golden Horned Beast. Fan Nua Castle Master thought. Taking over, was when the soul enters a new body and abandons the original one. The golden horn beast had a main body and 3 bodies. Using one of the bodies to take over, abandoning the original body, one would naturally be able to take over the new body. However, the target had to be undying and below. There was no way to take over an undying's body. Nua Castle Master stood up fiercely. Not right. LuoFeng was able to kill an Emperor Pinnacle as a Sector Lord, and an Undying was able to kill Bark Mirror Emperor. His body was no weaker than a special life form. But even so, a Sector Lord level body, even if it's thousands of times stronger, it still can't hold the soul of a knight. Nua Castle Master suddenly thought of this. Could it be that the golden horn beast was undying back then? That's the only explanation for his successful possession. Why isn't he famous? I can't recognize him at all. But how could he use such a powerful secret technique? Even if it's an innate secret skill, the innate secret skill of a heaven-defying special life form, it wouldn't be this strong. Nua Castle Master's train of thought had reached a dead end. LuoFeng possessed the golden horn beast? Impossible. LuoFeng's growth time was too short, he couldn't create such a terrifying technique. The golden horn beast took over LuoFeng? That was also impossible. LuoFeng's body back then wasn't able to contain the universe knight's soul, and the golden horn beast back then was definitely still undying. In such a short time, it was impossible to create such a terrifying technique. But they used the same secret technique, so it's clear that they have the same consciousness. It must be a possession. What happened? What's going on? Castle Master Nua thought for a long time but still could not figure it out. He could only sigh. The universe was indeed mysterious and unpredictable. There were still many things that could not be explained. Nua Castle Master lived on this normal planet. LuoFeng returned to his god country to meditate, wanting to break through to the universe knight level. At this time, the peak of the virtual universe Lightning Island, within the palace shrouded in endless chaos energy. The Primal Chaos City Leader sat crossed-legged at the edge of the cliff. Suddenly a screen lit up beside him. Simultaneously it displayed detailed information and a picture. The picture of the Divergent Mirror Stone. The virtual universe system sent it directly. What's the important news? The Primal Chaos City Leader opened his eyes and looked curiously at the screen. With one look he revealed shock. LuoFeng acquired the Divergent Mirror Stone? Primal Chaos. A voice resounded around him. Huge axe. The Primal Chaos City Leader spoke respectfully. There were only 2 people in the entire human race that could speak to him without a request. The creator of the huge axe was one of them. Primal Chaos, that LuoFeng used the virtual universe system to appraise the Divergent Mirror Stone, you know about it? The voice resounded around. The other universe lords know about it at the same time. Right now I'm preparing to hold a meeting with the upper echelon regarding the ownership of the Divergent Mirror Stone. Do you agree? I agree. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. The Primal Chaos City Leader understood too. The Divergent Mirror Stone was related to the most important treasure since the opening of the Primal Planet. Like some normal treasures, the Universe Lords didn't care at all. However, the pinnacle treasure that was about to appear in the Divergent God Shrine, not a single power in the universe wouldn't covet it. The creator of the huge axe decided to hold a meeting with the upper echelon, and didn't directly ask LuoFeng for it. That was already not bad. The virtual universe system was after all the human race's virtual universe. And the humans with the highest positions were naturally the creator of the huge axe, the Primal Chaos City Leader, the Void Gold Lord, the Yen Mountain Leader, the Dragon Travel Leader and the other 10 great beings. After LuoFeng appraised the Divergent Mirror Stone, the virtual universe system went through a logical analysis and sent it to the upper echelon. Virtual universe, one of the planes, endless darkness, distant specks of starlight. A simple shrine floated in mid-air. Before the shrine was a long stone table. On both sides of the table were stone chairs. At the same time there was only one stone chair at the head of the table. A huge savage sat there. Silhouettes appeared on the chairs on both sides of the table. It was the Primal Chaos City Leader and the other universe lords. In an instant they had all arrived. Everyone has arrived. The huge savage looked at both sides, however he made all the universe lords treat him with respect. The creator of the huge axe was the strongest in the universe. LuoFeng has acquired the Divergent Mirror Stone, and it's related to a pinnacle domain treasure, this level of treasure. The huge savage said directly, it's extremely important to our race. However, this was acquired by LuoFeng with his own strength. He can't just ask for it. As for what we should do, everyone speak. The moment the creator spoke, it was equivalent to saying, he couldn't just ask for it. Divergent Mirror Stone. A cold voice resounded, it's related to the Divergent God Shrine. What's LuoFeng's strength? Giving it to him is useless. For the race's strength, for him to hand over the stone, at most give him some compensation. Is one high-level treasure enough? If not, we can just give more, won't that do? A universe lord nodded. I agree. Right, even though he acquired it, giving it to him is a waste. After the opening of the Divergent God Shrine, the stone will have no value anymore. And the stone may very well give our human race yet another absolute treasure. The universe lords all expressed their opinions. Even though I agree with everyone, however, everyone must take note. LuoFeng has risen to where he is today. His edge is unfathomable. As a genius that only appears once in a trillion years. His arrogance is unimaginable. Even though the stone is very important, don't cause trouble with LuoFeng because of this. Back then, the Flame Emperor had a bad temper. Even though he wanted to steal a treasure from his own race, he shouldn't have left his race. This matter seems easy, however we have to be careful. Don't cause trouble. This Luo Feng's talent isn't any weaker than the Flame Emperor back then. He may very well become a Universe Lord in the future. A warm voice resounded. It's not the same. Luo Feng and the Flame Emperor are completely different. The Flame Emperor is extremely selfish. Even though our race tolerates the absolute warriors, we don't even have the most basic protection for our own race. He even acts against his own race and still doesn't think it's wrong. Such an extremely selfish person. I don't feel pity for him leaving our race, instead I feel joy. If I were to fight alongside him, that would be an insult to me. The Flame Emperor and Luo Feng's personalities are different. That warm voice continued. Even though they're different, the arrogance of an absolute genius is something everyone understands. The more powerful they are, the more confidence they have in themselves. If we don't handle it well, it'll easily incite dissatisfaction. In theory, this stone was indeed acquired by Luo Feng himself. Even if it's wasted, it's still his authority. No matter how much we feel pity for the race, we can't interfere. Of course, from the perspective of the race, it's best for Huge Axe to take the stone and enter personally. With his abilities, naturally he'll have a high chance of acquiring the absolute treasure. I agree with Qingdong leader. Indeed, we should be careful. That Luo Feng taking it would be a waste, however how to convince him is very important. We should get it back from him. Convincing him, however, is a little difficult. One by one, the masters of the universe spoke up. Other than the Primal Chaos City Leader who didn't speak, the other Universe Lords all spoke, and swiftly came to a conclusion. They had to get the stone back, and it would be best if they could convince Luo Feng. Even though these Universe Lords were the true rulers of humanity, they still held Luo Feng in high regard. Primal Chaos, what do you say? The creator Huge Axe looked over. The Primal Chaos City Leader shook his head and smiled. What else can I say? Since everyone is of the same opinion, I naturally won't have any objections. The stone. We have to get it back, however the prerequisite is that we don't escalate the conflict. With Flame Emperor gone, we can't let Luo Feng go too. The many Universe Lords all nodded. Warriors leaving their original powers and joining others? There were many such cases in the universe. Firstly, the absolute warriors usually had their loved ones long dead. Secondly, the stronger they were, the more confident they were, and their thoughts were firm. The moment they were angered, if they were truly angered, there were indeed many who would leave their own powers. This matter, Primal Chaos, you handle it. Savage smiled. You are his teacher. If you speak, his resistance should be the lowest. Haha, Primal Chaos, I'll have to trouble you with this. Haha. The surrounding Universe Lords all laughed. The Primal Chaos City Leader could only nod. You have to think of a way to get Luo Feng to agree. Savage emphasized. The stone is after all related to the absolute treasures of the Qixin Palace. I will convince him. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. Above the endless dark ocean, the golden shrine glowed with endless god light. Luo Feng sat crossed-legged before the shrine, his eyes looking at the endless god country. In his mind, he recalled the engravings one by one, occasionally recalling the teleportation, strangulation, sealing, the three mysteries. Because of the engravings, Luo Feng's created techniques already had complete space laws within them. Hence, recalling those engravings made Luo Feng feel a little emotional. Just a little bit more, just a little bit more. That feeling is getting closer and closer. I can comprehend and break through at any time, just a little bit more. Luo Feng creased his eyebrows and stopped his training, because his consciousness connected to the virtual universe received a mail, and it was an extremely important one. In the mail settings, normal friend's mail was set to not disturb him. Only his wife, son, teacher and other important people's mail could be filtered through the virtual assistant and interrupt his training. Primal Chaos City Leader teacher wants to see me? He wants to see me? Don't tell me. Luo Feng had a thought he couldn't help but worry. Virtual Universe Thunder Island, endless primal chaos energy shrouded it. Behind the palace was a winding pathway. Luo Feng and the Primal Chaos City Leader were walking side by side. Teacher called me here and didn't say anything. It made me very nervous. Luo Feng said. I didn't say anything, I was just thinking about how to convince you. Luo Feng, you should have guessed what's going on, right? The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng nodded when he heard that. When I was in Primal Chaos City, I let the virtual universe system appraise the Qi Mirror Stone. I knew something like this would happen. Before, I was hoping the virtual universe system would keep it a secret and not reveal this information. Before the appraisal, Luo Feng didn't expect the Nua Castle Leader to actually want the Qi Mirror Stone. If it wasn't as important, it wouldn't have caused such a huge commotion. After the appraisal, Luo Feng knew it was the Qi Mirror Stone, but it was already too late. The virtual universe system normally keeps it a secret. The Primal Chaos City Leader said, this matter has been carefully analyzed, finally confirmed. This matter affects the entire race, hence it chose to inform every single Universe Lord. Luo Feng nodded. The situation right now is very simple. The Primal Chaos City Leader walked to a table outside the walkway, casually summoning his servants. Two of them respectfully brought over the delicacies. Luo Feng, sit and we'll talk. Luo Feng followed and sat down. Looking at the food and drinks on the table, he knew that the Primal Chaos City teacher placed a lot of importance on this matter, at least the preparations were very exquisite. In the past, he would usually converse with his teacher at the edge of the cliff in front of the palace or in the main hall. This time they came to the corridor behind the palace and even sat down to converse. The situation is very simple because you were appraising the treasure in Primal Chaos City. The virtual universe system sent the information to the creator of the huge axe and all the other universe lords. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng, which means, the strongest upper echelon of humanity all know about it. We have come to a decision on how to deal with this matter. Luo Feng's ears twitched. Decision? He immediately turned to look at his teacher. Primal Chaos City Master saw this and said, I believe you can guess the result. What result? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The clan really needs this Divergent Mirror Stone. The Primal Chaos City Master emphasized, the Divergent Mirror Stone is connected to an absolute treasure. The Divergent God Palace is the biggest treasure trove in the entire Primal Planet's history. This treasure is extremely important. Even though our human race is strong, we don't have an absolute treasure guarding it. To be able to have one more pinnacle domain level treasure, to our human race it's a huge benefit. No absolute treasures guarding it? Luo Feng was stunned. The human race. No absolute treasures. Our human race, we really don't have any absolute treasures? Luo Feng couldn't help but ask. The Primal Chaos City Master hesitated for a moment, shaking his head. No, before we had one, now we don't. Before we had one? Luo Feng was even more suspicious. There seemed to be a story behind all this. However, according to the information he had read in the Virtual Universe Network with his current position, he had indeed found out a lot of important information. Through the information, the absolute treasures in the universe were indeed extremely rare. According to what Mountain Guest said, even the strongest warriors in the universe didn't have any absolute treasures. Absolute treasures could completely make the strongest warriors in the universe go crazy for them. Even the strongest of the universe, the ancestral god sect's guardian treasure, was an absolute treasure. From this, one could see how rare the absolute treasures were. However, Luo Feng didn't expect that the incomparably strong Great Alliance and human race actually didn't have any absolute treasures. We don't have any. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. The universe's 9 great powers, 5 of them have them, however our human race indeed doesn't have any. Luo Feng felt a sense of anxiety. The human race was weak in this aspect. Hence the treasure related to the Divergent Mirror Stone should be comparable to our human race's most important treasure. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng, and all the universe lords think, with the Divergent Mirror Stone in your hands, if you were to attempt that shrine, the result would be very bad. If we were to give this stone to the creator of the huge axe to attempt, his chances would definitely be much higher. The creator of the huge axe? Luo Feng was shocked within. That was the strongest warrior in the universe. Of course we won't force you. The Primal Chaos City Master raised his wine glass, looking at it. Everything is up to you. After which he looked up at Luo Feng, his eyes staring straight ahead. Teacher hopes you can help the human race once. Luo Feng was shocked. Help. He wasn't an idiot, training to where he was today and wandering the universe for 50,000 years. Luo Feng's vision was incomparably clear. Actually, the moment the Primal Chaos City Master summoned him, Luo Feng had already guessed many things. It was just that the Primal Chaos City Master's negotiation methods were extremely straightforward. Without any other methods, he directly analyzed the situation and told everything to Luo Feng, sincerely using his position as the Universe Lord, as his teacher, to ask Luo Feng to help the human race once. This made it hard for Luo Feng to reject. Teacher. Luo Feng said. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. There are a total of 36 Divergent Mirror Stones scattered across 10,081 Primal Stars. Don't tell me our human race didn't even get one? Luo Feng asked. We didn't. The Primal Chaos City Master raised his head and drank a glass of wine. From these words, he could already feel that Luo Feng wasn't too willing, after which he placed his glass down. The human race's warrior numbers are only a small portion of the entire universe. Just like the Northern Border Alliance, they have the most warriors in the entire universe. Their knight numbers are over 100 times that of our Great Alliance. The stronger they are, scattered across the various Primal Stars, the chances of getting the Divergent Mirror Stones are naturally higher. I estimate that the Northern Border Alliance would at most get 1 or 2. After all, compared to the entire universe, the Northern Border Alliance is only a small portion. Even the Northern Border Alliance might only get 1 or 2, how many can our human race get? The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. So few. Luo Feng was stunned. Right. The number of inheritors and knights in the Great Alliance were far fewer than the Northern Border Alliance. On the Primal Star, the number of knights that had died in his hands alone exceeded 20. There are still the 9 Domains Alliance, Thorn Ring Alliance, etc. in the universe. There are also other weaker allied powers. Even though they are weak, their numbers are huge. Hence, many of the 36 Divergent Mirror Stones will be acquired by these powers. When the time comes, through the 36 passages of the Divergent God Palace, these powers will be able to acquire powerful treasures. Maybe this is one of the universe's methods of balance. Luo Feng nodded as he heard. The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. Give me an answer, are you willing or not? Teacher, your disciple isn't willing. Luo Feng said directly. The Primal Chaos City Master frowned, after which he relaxed. You aren't willing? The 36 warriors that entered this time, may be slightly lesser, some of them don't even recognize the Divergent Mirror Stones. But those that enter, over half of them will be Universe Lords or even the strongest in the universe. The rest will be the pinnacle of the universe or even the Universe Lord. If one doesn't even have the strength of a Universe Lord, he doesn't even have the right to enter. This has been the rule of the opening of the Primal Star, the biggest treasure trove. And in the end, the ones that acquire the absolute treasures are usually Universe Lords or the strongest in the universe. Do you know what are the strongest in the universe? The Primal Chaos City Master looked at Luo Feng. Even if teacher meets one, he might fall. They are the most terrifying beings in the universe. You still want to go? The Primal Chaos City Master was anxious. Yes. Luo Feng nodded. It was because he knew the details, knowing that the Divergent Mirror Stones weren't based on strength, but were distributed randomly, leading to the universe's strong and weak powers to obtain them. Along with the different pathways, he could totally take a gamble. One had to know that in history, every time the Primal Star opened the biggest treasure trove, according to the Primal Chaos City Master, it was always the Universe Lord or the universe's strongest that acquired the absolute treasures. If I were to step into the Universe Lord level, my body would be much stronger, the armor would be able to activate the third form. Even if I were to go get the 5th black metal board, back then I heard teacher sitting passenger say, the 5th black metal board might give me an unexpected situation. However, no matter, at that time I would already be able to activate the Star Pagoda. Even if I met the universe's strongest, I could hide within the Star Pagoda and he wouldn't be able to do anything to me. The Star Pagoda was an absolute treasure. The human race didn't even have an absolute treasure. The Star Pagoda had no owner to control it, placed in the outer region battlefield, causing the 4 pinnacle races to fight, causing the universe's strongest to go crazy, yet no one could take it away. This was power. Luo Feng relied on the Star Pagoda. Naturally he didn't fear any being. Since that was the case, since he had such confidence, the Divergent God Palace, naturally he would enter it himself. If he was strong, his race would be strong too. Don't you think your strength isn't enough? The Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but say, it's too dangerous for you to go. Teacher. Luo Feng looked at the Primal Chaos City Master. Your disciple currently has the strength of an elite Universe Lord. The table was filled with the most famous delicacies of the universe, however Luo Feng didn't touch it all. The Primal Chaos City Leader gently poured some wine and smiled at Luo Feng. Pinnacle Universe Overlord strength? I know your body is comparable to a Universe Knight, and you have the 9 Hell clone as a foundation. It can be said to have an endless supply of God energy. Your Golden Horn Beast clone is also 1,000 km long God body, along with the high-level armor. Even an elite Universe Tyrant would find it hard to kill you, but that doesn't mean you have that level of power. Luo Feng looked at his teacher with determination. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. Their eyes met. Really? Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng nodded. Then those alien race warriors who died because of you, were you the one who killed them? The Primal Chaos City Master couldn't help but ask. Luo Feng nodded. The Primal Chaos City Leader carefully observed Luo Feng. He watched as Luo Feng rose up, and the speed of his rise far surpassed his expectations. Even though LuoFeng's words were shocking with their close to 100,000 years of teacher and disciple relationship, the Primal Chaos City Leader felt that it could very well be true. We'll talk about this later. The Primal Chaos City Leader shook his head. Luo Feng, I'm your teacher, I won't harm you. Please speak, teacher. Luo Feng listened. The Chi Mirror Stone is related to the most important supreme treasure since the opening of the primitive star. The Primal Chaos City Lord said solemnly, the news of you possessing the Divergent Mirror Stone is known to the masters of the universe and the creator of the huge axe. Although they won't force you to hand it over if you really don't hand it over, I'm afraid that the masters of the universe will be unhappy with you. In the future, you are destined to become a member of the highest echelon of the human race. It is not a good thing to make them unhappy now. Luo Feng nodded as he listened. So what if you have the strength of a peak Universe Overlord? More than half of those who enter the Divergent God Palace will be Universe Lords. There might even be 1 or 2 of the universe's strongest experts involved. The 36 passages of the Divergent God Palace were more considerate towards the weak, but after all, strength was the foundation. In the end, the ones who would truly fight for the supreme treasure would definitely be the Lord of the Universe or the strongest expert in the universe. Even if you are a top Universe Overlord, you still have to step aside. Your insistence on going caused the masters of the universe to be slightly dissatisfied. 2. He wouldn't be able to obtain the supreme treasure. Why bother? The Primal Chaos City Leader started from the perspective of the race, and now from the perspective of benefits. His only goal was to make Luo Feng hand over the Divergent Mirror Stone. Good for Luo Feng, good for everyone. Moreover, the race will compensate you. After all, this Divergent Mirror Stone belongs to you. The Primal Chaos City Master said. A Divergent Mirror Stone is worth 20 treasure points? 30 supreme treasure points? As long as you are willing, I believe the clan will provide you with sufficient compensation. Luo Feng sighed within. If a Universe Lord had obtained the Divergent Mirror Stone, his race would not have to deal with such trivial matters. Now, because he had the potential to stand at the highest level of his race, he was speaking to him politely. If he was just an ordinary universe supremacy, the treatment would probably be completely different. But, after all, he was the one who obtained the Chi Mirror Stone. It belonged to him. Teacher wishes for you to hand it over. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked at Luo Feng. Luo Feng looked at the Primal Chaos City Leader's expression. If it was a normal Universe Lord, he wouldn't even bother with him. However, the city leader had been very kind to him, silently guiding and teaching him. Teacher, you just said that if I offer myself to the tribe will compensate me. Luo Feng took a deep breath. My request isn't high either. I'll use the Divergent Mirror Stone to exchange for the other half of Earth's ownership. Which means I want to get Earth back. Return my home to me. That's my request. If you agree, give the Divergent Mirror Stone to the tribe. I don't need anything else, just the other half of Earth's ownership. If you don't agree, I won't hand over the Divergent Mirror Stone, Luo Feng said. The Primal Chaos City Leader was slightly stunned. Earth? Right, Earth. Luo Feng nodded. Silence. The two absolute beings of the universe on both sides of the table, the teacher and disciple, were momentarily silent. You want Earth? The Primal Chaos City Leader was silent for a while before saying slowly, how do you plan to deal with the aliens? Back then, I spent 50 billion mixed elements to make me lose half of Earth's ownership, allowing large amounts of aliens to live in Earth's oceans, floating cities above the oceans, etc. They are after all aliens, not our Earth people. That is the origin of our Earth people, our home. I'll make all those aliens leave. Land, ocean. They're all Earth peoples. Luo Feng emphasized. Back then, under the pressure of the tribe, they had no choice but to lower their heads and hand over half of Earth's ownership. However, from then on, Luo Feng had gritted his teeth. He had been waiting silently, hoping for the day he could get Earth back. These few years on Earth, the aliens had always been arrogant. Luo Feng could only suppress them to not mess around. However, the aliens still looked down on the Earth natives. However, that blue planet was after all the home of the Earth people. Chase them away? The Primal Chaos City Leader pondered. Teacher, back then I only spent 50 billion mixed elements. Luo Feng smiled. 50 billion mixed elements? It's not even worth a tiny bit of a treasure. Right now I'm taking out the Divergent Mirror Stone. If we count the profits, it's already multiplied by 10,000 to 1 million times. I understand your thoughts. The Primal Chaos City Leader nodded. This matter, I can't make the decision, however I'll give you an answer very soon. Luo Feng wasn't an idiot, he wasn't a fool who would be blinded by the tribe's words, selflessly sacrifice himself. Did he contribute all his treasures to make some other powerhouse even stronger? One had to know. Ever since he stepped out of Earth and into the universe, Luo Feng had always had a responsibility on his shoulders. The rise of the Earthlings and their future destiny would all depend on him. Hence Luo Feng definitely wouldn't easily give up on a chance to grow stronger. What's more, the Divergent Mirror Stone was obtained by himself. The Divergent God Palace was the Primal Star's biggest treasure trove this time. Luo Feng really wanted to go. However, since his teacher had personally asked and was so sincere, plus deep within Luo Feng's heart, the most important dream was to retrieve Earth. Compared to retrieving Earth, the importance of the Divergent Mirror Stone was obviously much lower. Retrieving Earth in my plans isn't an easy task. If I can take this chance, I'll succeed. Even if I lose the Divergent Mirror Stone, it's nothing. Luo Feng thought. Humanity and Earth. Even though Luo Feng had a sense of belonging to humanity, his sense of belonging to Earth was even stronger. He was the leader of the Earth people, their spiritual leader, he shouldered the fate of Earth. Secondly, he was a part of humanity. What's more, the Divergent Mirror Stone was just a bonus for humanity, it didn't affect the rise or fall of humanity at all. Naturally, he didn't have to care about the bigger picture. In the dark space, stars twinkled. Numerous universe lords were seated on both sides of the long stone table. Primal chaos, there's a result? Gathering us all here, is there a reason? That Luo Feng will reject, that's impossible. Primal chaos, as his teacher, even with you personally making a move, can't you convince him? How would he dare reject, and with that bit of ability of his, isn't it a waste to use the Divergent Mirror Stone? Primal chaos, if you can't convince him, I'll go find this punk. In the main seat, the creator of the huge axe swept his gaze, immediately all the universe lords went silent. Primal chaos, speak to them. The creator ordered. Luo Feng has agreed. The Primal Chaos City Leader looked around at the other universe lords, however, he raised a condition. Haha, good. He really agreed. As long as he agreed, the condition is to compensate him. What condition? Some of the universe lords immediately spoke up, while others watched silently. If the matter was simple, they wouldn't have been summoned twice. The Primal Chaos City Leader continued. His condition is very simple, return the other half of Earth to him. Earth is his home. Back then, he used 50 billion mixed elements to buy half of Earth, allowing all the large powers to send large amounts of their descendants into the seas and skies of Earth. Now he wants to take back Earth. What about the descendants of the various races? A cold voice resounded. Luo Feng wants to expel all the alien descendants, leaving only the Earth people. The Primal Chaos City Leader said. No. Definitely not. This is impossible. More and more universe lords spoke up, filled with rage. When Earth was discovered back then, it attracted attention. However, back then, the creator of Giant Axe believed that it was a special planet specially modified and refined by Mountain Guest. Back then, the masters of the universe were only curious and believed that Mountain Guest's handiwork must be extraordinary. However, they didn't know how precious Earth was. However, after 100,000 years, Luo Feng had been growing for 100,000 years now, and those alien immigrants had moved to Earth for 100,000 years too. In this period of time, many generations of alien descendants were born on Earth, and as long as they were born, they would go through the nurturing of their respective races, discovering that their comprehension abilities were very high, their mental states were easy to train, giving birth to strong warriors and geniuses had a very high probability. Mental states seemed normal, not important at the start of training. However, as one progressed, universe level, domain lord, sector lord, the higher one progressed, the more important it became. This caused the various masters of the universe to gasp in shock. Such powerful Earth. Such a powerful mountain guest. The souls of these descendants who were born on Earth must have undergone some changes, causing their mental state and temperament to be tempered and nurtured to have a much higher success rate. In just a mere 100,000 years, a batch of geniuses and experts had appeared. There were even a bunch of world overlords. If as time passed, just Earth alone was enough to create one of the strongest branches of humanity, it wouldn't pale in comparison to the Flame God race back then. Compared to the Flame God race, Earth's strength was much stronger. No way. That's a special planet created by Mountain Guest, it's priceless. It won't pale in comparison to a pinnacle domain treasure. This won't do. Let him change his conditions. The Universe Lord spoke.